I don't think most construction companies have income problems. I think they have visibility problems. Would you agree?
Oh, 100%. 100%. They just, I'll say this. One, they hire incorrectly internally, right? Because they don't have a lot. I don't know what it is with contract, and this is no knock to them, and I get it. It really isn't. I totally get it. They love hiring that 40 to 50-year-old woman, that does the books, that's in there, that, you know, does all the data entry, and kind of doesn't go beyond that. Because the real question is when you do job costing, you have to be able to have the bandwidth to incorporate, to capture all that data. That's really what it is to capture all the data on the payroll side and on the expense side, right? And where does that start? It starts from the vendor, right? On the expense side, it starts from the vendor, from where you're getting your supplies and materials from, right? Are they billing out to to that project, or are they just billing to you? If they're just billing to the company,
Yeah.
now you have to lineate, okay, what project this is for, and then go through a whole series of implementation in order to get that correct. And most people aren't going to go through all that. I remember talking to a fencing company a few weeks ago. They're a union fencing company. And he told me point blank, he's like, I would pay somebody 6 figures to stay in here and log in all the data that I have to the correct project if they were willing to do it. I really would, because he's like, I had no idea how much I'm making off each project for years. And you know what the concept is that these contract, and this is not only to contract, this is a lot of business owners. The concept that they go with is, if I'm making payroll and I could pay myself, I'm doing okay. And that is the furthest thing from the truth, right? Because
Yeah.
that's when people come to us, right? When things are bad, when all of a sudden they can't pay themselves like they used to, right? Because they're living by their bank balance, to operate everything, instead of the data and their books, when they should be utilizing that stuff instead of for end of the year taxes. It's like, so, but they don't know, they don't know what they don't know. You know what I mean? So, like, this is how we kind of bring that value, and we get that information out there to them, but yeah, and it amazes me. So when we implement the right procedures for them, and we say, a lot of our guys that we do job costing for, they have accounts in there, so they're not switching their accounts. We're just enforcing and giving them the bandwidth they need in order to do those job costings. We had a glazer that we did it for recently, that expanded his profit margins. When we were all said and done, his profit margins increased from 15% now to 30%, because he was able
Nice.
to do the job costing correctly, and we did everything, and he was able to cut major expenses because of that, and he was able to see what projects were making him money and what projects weren't, and he was able to stay away from that. It just gives so much data and so much valuable information and key metrics that can take your business to the next level.